Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Did you know that Ripple's official position regarding on-demand liquidity and XRP price action is that on-demand liquidity transactions do not impact XRP price? Now, look, I'd seen Ripple argue, of course, a number of times over the last couple of years that the price action of XRP can almost entirely be explained thanks to the general movements of crypto markets on a global scale rather than Ripple's business efforts. So I've certainly seen that before. But what I just off the top of my head, I don't recall anyway ever seeing them specifically state that on-demand liquidity, utilizing XRP as a bridge currency by the nature of its design, it does not impact the price of XRP. And there are a lot of people, I think, in our community that, well, I know there have been a number of people in our community over the years that have been speculating that increased on-demand liquidity activity would increase the price of XRP. I have long said that is not true, but it's a little bit more complex than this. I want to get into some of the nuance of this. It's not that on-demand liquidity itself can't potentially in the future have a very positive impact for the price action of XRP, but it's the individual transactions that really you shouldn't expect them to. And I'll explain why. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so here's a headline from you today. Ripple CEO praises XRP community, here's why. And this is actually what led to what I'm covering in this video. And I wanted to mention this in a video regardless, but this is to provide an awesome segue into what like the primary topic of this video. But I'm sure most of you are aware that there is a XRP Las Vegas event over the last couple days, and it seems to have been a very wild success. In fact, Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse was there, among many, many others who you'll be familiar with in the community. And so Brad Garlinghouse the other day tweeted out the following with a few pictures that I'll make full screen in just a second for those of you that do care to look. But Brad Garlinghouse wrote on Twitter, "Great to meet so many folks from the XRP community at XRP Las Vegas 2023. The camaraderie is remarkable and an amazing feeling in person versus Twitter. This community has stood by and supported Team Ripple as we have fought the good fight. I can't adequately express my gratitude." And so he took this selfie pic with a bunch of our fellow XRP community members in the background. Love seeing that. There's also this. This is a cool picture. So this guy's got this suit jacket. The interior lining has the XRP logo. That's pretty snazzy. I like that. And then here's just one more picture that Brad Garlinghouse shared. And indeed, from all accounts, it seems to have been a wild success. Here was a tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. He wrote, "XRP Las Vegas was fantastic. It's been amazing to see people from the community together. Pure joy to shake hands with so many. This community is strong. Do not second guess that for 1 second. What a great day." And look, I've long said that the XRP community unquestionably is the best community in all of crypto. And that's quite obvious. And the degree to which our communities had staying power despite all of the nonsense that's happened over the last couple of years, it's truly remarkable. Yeah, it's not every coin that's getting brutally assaulted by the SEC effectively, yet here we are as passionate and confident as ever. XRP's not going away, folks. There are too many developers building. There's too much real-world adoption already. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like it's reached escape velocity in those terms. And I think adoption is just going to continue to increase, which is why I will continue to hold it. But Brad Garlinghouse's tweet was retweeted by my fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. And I guess what prompted her to share some of this is something that she recalled from Ripple's Wells notice. And off the top of my head, I don't think I'd actually seen this before. Maybe I just don't recall because it's been a couple years. I don't see a date on this document here, but Crypto Eddie shared this document. This is on Ripple's official website, summary of Ripple's Wells submission. And since it's a Wells submission, this means that it would have been filed before the SEC actually officially sued Ripple. So they would have gotten a Wells notice, which is the warning, hey, we intend to sue you. And then the commissioners would have voted, and they did vote, as you well know, of course did. They were going to go ahead and sue the hell out of Ripple, and attacking all XRP holders the world over in the process. And so before that lawsuit was filed, again, this document was shared pushing back against the arguments that the SEC had made to that point. And there's a few parts that Crypto Eddie highlighted here. And so Crypto Eddie wrote the following: Ripple's Wells submission. She's got 3 points. Number one, Ripple interaction with XRP community does not constitute efforts of others. And this is from Ripple's Wells submission here. And I can see why she decided to share this while retweeting what Brad Garlinghouse shared, because he's in public here at the XRP event, and obviously it's the case. I think that all of us would agree here. That does not constitute some sort of efforts of others. Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, they're members of the XRP community, just like I am, just like you are. You know? So of course not, but they had to blatantly state this here. And then number two, Crypto Eddie wrote, on-demand liquidity is related to Ripple business, not XRP. And number three, and this is the part that, again, I don't recall having seen anywhere ever before, and I don't think I'd seen this document. And so Crypto Eddie shared this part. 3, on-demand liquidity transactions, purchase/sale of same amount, and does not impact XRP price. And so there's the snippet right there at the bottom. And this is something that I've been articulating for a very, very, very long time. So I wasn't surprised to see it. I just wasn't aware of Ripple having ever articulated that point anywhere ever. And in terms of why this is true, and this isn't a negative, by the way. Don't think for a moment that this is a negative. You just need to understand the ecosystem. So why is this true? Well, if you're talking about XRP as a bridge currency, I'll assume that we understand in a general sense, all of us listening, how that works. But, you want to convert from one fiat currency to another, turn your United States dollars into Mexican pesos, for example. So there's an exchange utilizing on-demand liquidity in the United States. And so a bunch of XRP is purchased in the United States on that exchange in the United States. Then the XRP is moved to a Mexico-based, this is just an example, obviously, a Mexico-based cryptocurrency exchange. Would be Bitso in all likelihood. And then it's sold into Mexican pesos there. And it all happens in real time, effectively. 3 to 5 seconds is what it takes for the ledger activity. And then there can be, the rails on each side of that can add, in theory, like a little bit more time. But for all intents and purposes, it's real time activity. So when you're talking about these transactions, there's always going to be a heavier flow in one direction than the other. So if there's a bunch of purchasing XRP on one side, you might think, okay, that might raise the price in that market. And then but then on the flip side, there's an equivalent sell side in the other market. So on the exchange in Mexico, there would be a bunch of sell pressure. And so you can understand, obviously, if there's a notable increase in sell pressure, that might lower price. So what ultimately happens is people recognize disparities in price and engage in arbitrage. They notice the gap, and that's what evens out markets on a global scale. And because that's the case, when you're talking about utilizing XRP as a bridge currency, none of those individual transactions are just, if you just look on an individual basis, those are not going to impact the price of XRP. But that doesn't mean that literally that on-demand liquidity can't have a positive impact on XRP price for a couple of reasons. One of the most obvious ones is that if there's a lot of utility on the XRP ledger, and in this case we're talking about on-demand liquidity, I think over the long haul people recognize that, and money flows where there are real cryptocurrencies that are solving real problems. So if for people jumping into crypto for the first time, when they discover XRP's useful, they might think, oh, well, businesses are using it, it's probably not going to go away. I want to diversify. So that's one thing. And then on top of that, in order for XRP to be used as a bridge currency, especially as a quantity of transactions increase, the XRP must be held somewhere by somebody at that point in time. It has to be. And I understand it's very quick, but the more on-demand liquidity transactions you have, the more is going to be held for those purposes. And XRP can only be used for one thing at a time. So if it's being used specifically for on-demand liquidity, it's not being used in that exact moment for something else. So then you have supply and demand dynamics that do take over. So again, it's not the individual transaction that is going to result in some sort of price movement upward, not that in and of itself. Because after arbitrage, it's going to be a net zero. You're just sitting there back at base level. It's all done in real time. But again, if there's an increase in demand for XRP, just generally speaking, and then there's XRP that people can't purchase because it's already being held by people that are using it for on-demand liquidity, now that is a factor. That is absolutely a factor. So Ripple's correct in what they're stating here, but I think that a lot of people actually don't realize these particular dynamics. And I just found it so interesting to see that this is what Ripple actually shared. And I think I just missed it. I don't know how many of you guys had seen this. I don't know that I'd actually seen it, to be honest. Unless I'm really just forgetting it, I don't recall seeing this Wells submission. So, but it's on their official website. And it's just interesting to see that that's their official position. So hopefully it puts to bed this idea that somehow magically these transactions will increase the price of XRP, because if you believe that, just know even Ripple says no. And I don't think that's purely, you could say, oh, well, it's from a legal perspective, they want to make that argument, but I don't think so. I don't think they care, because frankly, they already got rid of their programmatic sales. They understand that they're in the winning side of history and they have the winning legal argument when it comes to utilizing XRP for ODL transactions. I don't think they need to say, I think that this is just a matter of fact statement. It's very obviously true. So I just found it fascinating to see this. But man, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I just thought it was a fun thing. Again, like I said, I wanted to mention the event anyway, because it's been neat for all of you that are on Twitter. I'm sure you got to, even if you didn't go to the event yourself, I'm sure some of you listening did go to the event yourself. It was really neat just seeing pictures from just tons of people, because it can feel impersonal when you're talking about maybe just listening to somebody on YouTube or just typing stuff on Twitter, or if you're on XRP chat or whatever platform you're on, whatever social media platform you're using. But this is very real. There are millions of us, literally. The XRP community is absolutely freaking gigantic. And it's a great community. So it's just cool to see. It's just one more thing where you can look at it and it's like, yeah, community actually is important. And it's one more reason that we're going to have staying power here. And that's the way that I look at it. So I just think it's the coolest damn thing on the planet. But I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.